The time is 6:30 p.m. It's January 3rd, 2017, and the Louisville Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is now called to order, and we do have a quorum present. Item number 2 on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the December 6th, 2016 meeting. If there are no additions or corrections, may I have a motion to approve as presented?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Kristen,
Second.
seconded by Mary Ellen. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimous. Item number 3 is a public hearing for consent agenda for plats. Item 3A is amended final plat of Inspired Living at Louisville Addition, Lot 1R, Block A. This contains 14.271 acres. It is zoned Medical District, MD. It's located on the southeast corner of Valley Parkway and Round Grove Road. This is a replat of Inspired Living at Louisville Addition, Lot 1, Block A. Richard?
Thank you, Chairman Davis. This plat was reviewed by city staff and who has determined that the plat meets all the minimum standards of zoning and the general development ordinance. Staff recommends approval as submitted.
Commissioners, questions?
No.
I see the building's coming up pretty good. Have you been by there? Yeah. Okay, at this time, the public hearing is now open. Anyone wishes to speak, please come forward, sign in, and state your name. All right, having no one come forward, the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, comments? Okay, may I have a motion on item 3A?
Motion to approve the plat?
Motion by William to approve,
I'll second.
seconded by John. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimous. Okay, public hearing zoning, item number 4. This is consideration of zone change request from General Business District, GB, to Old Town Center Business District, OTC. It's on approximately 1.088 acres, legally described as portions of Lot 1 and 7, Block 4, Keeley Addition, and all of Lot 1R, Block A, MHJ Sonic Addition, located on the southeast corner of Main Street and Mill Street at 102 South Mill and 126 South Mill. It's being requested by the City of Louisville, the property owner. This is case number PZ 2017-0101.
Good evening, Commissioners. This property is proposed for rezoning from general business to the OTC district in order to prepare the site for redevelopment. As you may recall, the northern portion of the site was the site of the former K&W auto parts store for many years. The southern portion of the site was formerly a Sonic. And so the city has realized that that is a very prominent corner and can really be a catalyst for the future redevelopment of the Old Town area. And therefore, combining those sites for future mixed use. And the first step of that process is to rezone the property to the OTC district, which is in compliance with the Old Town Master Plan. Staff recommends approval as submitted. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, I guess no questions. This time we'll open the public hearing. Anyone that wishes to speak on this subject, please come forward, sign in, and state your name. All right, having no one come forward, the public hearing is now closed. Commissioners, comments, questions? If not, may I have a motion on item 4A?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Kristen,
Second.
seconded by Mary Ellen. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, this item will be considered by the City Council at a second public hearing on Monday, January 23rd, 2017 at 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, at this time, we will adjourn the Planning and Zoning Commission 5-minute recess to finish up that business, and then the Transportation Board following that. So, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by John,
Second?
seconded by William. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. The time is 6:38, and the Louisville Transportation Board meeting of Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017 is now called to order, and we do have a quorum present. First item is approval of the minutes of the September 20th, 2016 meeting. If there's no corrections or additions, may I have a motion to approve as presented.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Mary Ellen,
Second.
seconded by William. Those in favor signify aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. At this point, we have a visitor citizens forum. Anyone wish to come forward and speak on any subject other than what's on the agenda for today? Okay, having no one come forward, the visitor forum is now closed. Item number 4, consideration of establishing a school speed zone on Fox Avenue from 400 feet west of Edmonds Lane to Purnell Street, and make a recommendation to the City Council regarding this amendment. Kevin?
Good evening. Good evening. And I will say that I'm starting 2017 with a bit of a sore throat. So if you can't quite understand me, please feel free to ask for me to repeat it. But this item is should be a quick item. It's consideration of the school zones that are now existing on Fox Avenue. There are two separate ones separated by a short distance. And this was sponsored by a resident concerned about the students that are crossing there at Ridgeway at Creekside. Staff has had the opportunity to observe, and there are a significant number of students that do cross there. You may ask why there was two separate school zones before and why they were separate in the manner that they are. Well, the reason being is that previously Central Elementary shared school zones with the campus that was on Purnell, the middle school campus that is on Purnell next to Mill Street. Once LISD closed that campus, converted it to administrative offices, it was no longer necessary. Well, while it was a middle school, it shared, since it did share those school zones, it shared the times of operation for those school zones. So that those school zones had to be separate from what was the school zone at Lakeland, which is strictly just a single elementary. Now that that middle school campus is closed, then the hours of operation for Central Elementary and Lakeland are both the same. And so at this point in time, it makes sense to go ahead and make this a single school zone for its entire extent as described.
Questions, Commissioners? If not, then may I have a recommendation?
I would recommend approval of the extension.
Okay, recommend approval by Kristen,
I'll second.
seconded by John. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Item number 5, consideration of removing the no parking restriction on the east side of Deer Run between Antler Trail South and Wallington Way, and make a recommendation to the City Council in regards to that amendment.
Good evening, Commissioners. The current city ordinance prohibits parking on both sides of Deer Run between FM 3040 and Antler Trail South. On Deer Run, on the east side of Deer Run, you have single-family houses, and on the west side, there are apartments. Recently, it has come to staff's attention about some missing no parking signs on Deer Run, and staff, before replacing the missing signs, staff wanted to provide the affected residents of single-family homes an opportunity to comment on the issue and to see if they want to consider amending the ordinance so that they would be able to park in front of their houses. So staff mailed out letters to the 12 residents that live on the east side of Deer Run. We heard back from the residents that live between Antler Trail South and Wallington Way, and and these residents said that they want to be able to park in front of their houses or have guests park in front of their houses. We did not get any feedback from the residents that live on Deer Run between Wallington Way and FM 3040 to the south. So it is staff's recommendation that the city ordinance be amended so that people would be able to park on the east side of Deer Run between Antler Trail South and Wallington Way.
Commissioners, questions?
What's the speed limit through there?
Pardon me, ma'am?
The speed limit through
The speed, the speed limit is 25.
25?
Yes.
Okay. So is there any concern that people are going to not be used to people parking there and, I mean, get hit? I mean, I've seen that before where there's, I know over by my old office on Keller Springs, it was a 2-lane road, but they started to allow parking and somebody ran right into one of the parked cars.
Okay. I mean, the parking is going to be allowed only on the east side, and on the west side of Deer Run, the no parking restriction would still be in effect. So with the cars being parked on one side of the street, there'll still be enough room to traverse up and down the street.
Okay.
That's an older neighborhood. Does the street comply with what the width of the streets that are required today? Or is it a more narrow street?
It is a wide enough street to be able to park and have traffic.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, at this time, I guess entertain a motion.
Thank you.
Motion to approve the amendment.
Motion from William for approval,
I'll second.
seconded by John. Those in favor signify aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
Motion- Nay?
Thank you.
Mary Ellen is a nay. So motion carries. Item number 6 is the adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to move to adjourn by Mary Ellen, seconded by Kristen. Those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll take a 5-minute recess.
Okay, excellent. All right, it is January 3rd, 2017, 6:50 PM, and we're going to call to order the Capital Improvements Advisory Committee. Agenda item number 2 will be the review and orientation of the committee responsibilities.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and committee members. My name is Keith Marvin. I'm the Director of Public Services for the City of Louisville. Welcome y'all back to our semi-annual Capital Improvements Advisory Committee meeting. Y'all should have received a packet that has some information in it, but I'm going to run through just the purpose of the board again. It is required under subsection 395.058C of the Texas Local Government Code that the Capital Improvements Advisory Committee is charged with the following functions: advise and assist the city in adopting land use assumptions, periodic review of the impact fee and capital improvement plans, monitor and evaluate implementation of the capital improvement plan, prepare semi-annual reports evaluating the progress of the capital improvements plan and impact fees, and advise the city of the need to update or revise the land use assumptions plan, the capital improvement plan, and impact fees. The City of Louisville adopted a capital recovery fee program in 1986, and there's been a number of changes in the program since then. I won't go into great detail on the changes. But the most recent review of our capital improvement fees was conducted in 2011, and a water and wastewater impact fee will be conducted again in 2017. Our land use assumption plan was actually last updated in 2006, and we actually are working on a contract right now with Freese & Nichols to update that plan. You'll see that come before you sometime probably before our next semi-annual meeting. And then we do have a water and sewer master plan that was completed in 2011. As we go through the capital improvement plan, the following projects are included in the calculation for impact fees for the water system: water supply projects, water treatment projects, high service pump stations, ground storage tanks, and elevated storage tanks. line work required for the water distribution system that increases the capacity of the system. That capacity that's required due to additional development can also be included in the calculation of impact fees. That previously hadn't been done, but when we do the study in 2017 this year, we will review whether there's any line work that's appropriate to be included in the impact fees this time around. There's a listing of projects that were part of the last update to the impact fee. This listing will be some of the projects, most of them have been completed at this point. Some of them have been deferred because we haven't needed them yet. Those projects that were deferred will be reused in the calculations again, and then any additional projects that are required for, again, capacity improvements will be part of the 2017 project. That's all I have. Be happy to answer any questions on the roles or responsibilities of the board.
Questions? Anybody? Okay. Thank you, Keith. We'll move on to the next item of the agenda, which is approving the minutes of the July 19th, 2016 meeting. Has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes? Any comments or corrections? Okay, can I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion by William,
Second.
second by Mary Ellen. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 4 is the presentation of the semi-annual report for the period of April 1st, 2016 through September 30th of 2016.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. The following information is submitted in regards to the amount of water and sewer impact fees collected from April 1st, 2016 through September 30th, 2016. The impact fees are adjusted annually, typically on January 1st of each year. We are a little bit behind schedule for 2017. That'll be done as part of the 2017 update. The 2016 water and sewer impact fees during this period of collection were $3,165 and $2,724 respectively. The combined total maximum allowable water and wastewater impact fees is $5,889 per living unit equivalent. Capital recovery fees collected for water during that period of April 1 through September 30th was $1,098,304, plus accrued interest of $2,353. The capital recovery fees collected for sewer totaled $858,373, plus accrued interest of $1,776. During that period, new construction starts were distributed as followed. 144 single-family homes were started, 21 commercial businesses, 0 multifamily homes, and 43 condominium or townhomes. The City of Louisville has not reported any written complaints or perceived inequities or inadequacies in regards to the capital improvement plan or the impact fee requirements. The current impact fee program is in compliance with Chapter 395 of the Texas Local Government Code. That is the report, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
I had a question out of curiosity. Why, for the purposes of the water and sewer impact fees, what's the difference with multifamily versus the condos or townhomes?
Multifamily oftentimes will have a combination meter that's a much larger meter. The townhomes are typically individual meters. So it makes a big difference when you start to get to a very large meter size that can happen in multifamily. So,
Okay.
but essentially, it's an apartment complex versus a townhome or a condominium.
Okay.
So.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Is there any comparison to other cities around us as far as what we're collecting and what they're collecting?
You know, I had hoped to have an answer for you at this time, but like I said, we're actually a little bit behind because I believe you asked me that same question last time I was here in July. We're a little bit behind schedule on performing our update. Like I said, we've just got a contract moving forward right now with Freese and Nichols. We will have that analysis done as part of our update so that when I come to you next time and say, here's what we've done and here's what we're going to recommend for new fees, we'll have a comparison at that time of how those new fees compare to other cities in the area. So,
So I know that this is for water and sewer. Do we have a separate process that goes for roadway impact fees?
We don't do roadway impact fees.
We don't have them.
No.
Oh, okay,
So, a lot of other cities do have roadway impact fees as well, so.
okay. But if we did, would they also be included in this report, I assume?
If we did have them, yes, that would be
Okay.
part of the update, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I guess, is there an opinion, I guess, like if somebody had asked about, somebody that I know had asked about the meters throughout the city are getting older and that they may not read as accurately, I guess, as they could?
Yes, we, at budget last year, we presented a request to the city council to fund a meter replacement program over the next 5 years, and they did agree to do that. We had presented a couple of options. One was a remote read system where we would automatically read them. That was about $12 million over that 5-year period. The manual read, which is what we have today, was in the neighborhood of $6 million. So over the next 5 years, we expect it to invest about $6 million in replacing those water meters, which will bring the accuracy back into alignment with what's expected. Once a meter reaches about 20 years of age, the accuracy begins to degrade. 20 years of age, or about any residential over 1 million gallons of usage through that meter, or 20 years of age.
So in whose favor does it overread?
When meters fail to read, they always slow down. There's you know, just about 100% of the time it's reading less, which means that we're delivering more water than we're billing them for. So that's why, you know, the council agreed that investing in recovering some of that lost revenue is certainly worthwhile. So.
And then I guess what's the split, I guess, between the new expenditure and the increase in fees collected? And then when you throw into the mix with the fact that you're going to have to redo the rate as well, right?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of the question.
So like, what's the balance, I guess, between, okay, the expenditure for replacing, you know, the 6 million that were for the new meters versus, you know, the increased revenue you would think because of the more accurate reading that we're going to get, and then weighted that against the increase in rate?
The analysis that we did in-house was that it would take about 12 years to cover the cost without a rate increase. It was to cover the cost basically by recovering the lost revenue. It was going to take about 12 years to recover that cost with the manual read system. With the remote read system, it's going to be about 17 years. And that's, you know, that basically was what made the decision for them not to go with the remote read system. I actually hope that as the technology improves, those costs will come down, because the remote read system has some other benefits that we can't get from the manual system. Things like leak detection, primarily for the customer. A remote read typically is reading either 5-minute or 15-minute increments, whereas the manual read, we're going out there once every 30 days and reading the meter. So if you're reading every 5 to 15 minutes, if there's always usage 24/7, it's pretty much indicative of a leak. And you know, you could see a high monthly water bill, but not an extraordinarily high, and have a leak at your house and not even know it. But with those remote automated reading systems, you can actually get good data on your own system to see, yeah, I know I don't have any water on right now, and I'm going to look at every 5-minute read. And if I'm still using, you know, even if it's a half a gallon to a gallon a minute, that'll add up to quite a bit of water. So now with the manual, you know, we'll catch it, we'll bill them for it, but we won't be able to help them realize that they've got a leak and that they're wasting water. So. The thing about the meter replacement too is it's not something that can be recovered in the capital recovery fees, because again, these are primarily for capacity improvements due to development. So.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay.
I'm going to stay up here for item 5.
Okay. So we'll move on to item 5, receive comments from the committee and forward report to the city council for approval. So
So this will be forwarded. I'll draft a memo that says we presented it. If y'all have any comments or questions that you want to forward to the council with the report, I'd be happy to receive those and add it to the memo. Otherwise, it'll go forward with your signature saying that it is the report of the committee, so.
I have one more question. So you said in 2017, this year, we're going to have a new study done. Do you have an estimate of when that's going to be
Well, like I
completed?
said, the beginning of it, we're actually working on right now. The first step, and what was not done in 2011, is update the land use assumptions.
Okay.
So Freeze and Nichols, we've got that contract all but signed right now. It's at legal just for verification of some things, but we'll move forward with that. And Richard and his group will really take the lead on that land use update, and then it will go back to the engineers to verify that our water and sewer master plan still works with the land use assumptions. That changes population densities and alignment and everything. And as long as the water and sewer plan is still good, then we'll just recalculate the numbers and go forward from there. If we need to update the master plan, if we need to increase any water line sizes, wastewater collection sizes, pump stations, anything like that, based on the revised land use, then we'll do that step before we do the calculation of the numbers. So we're starting it, in the next week or two. It shouldn't take any more than 6 months. It may take 3 months to be complete, depending on what we find as we go through it.
Okay, are we expecting significant differences in the land use?
I don't expect significant differences. The land use will be interesting to look at because there has been a number of changes since 2006. And a lot of it, though, I believe we're looking in some cases at perhaps less density in some areas and perhaps more density in other areas, and just looking to see if there's any shift that's required to move water that we thought would go here over to here. Is there any line size changes or anything like that?
Will the new Mary Kay building use a lot of water in their manufacturing?
I don't think they're going to use
Are they
a lot of water.
manufacturing there?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they're going to produce stuff there too, right?
I don't think they're going to use a lot of water. They'll use some processed water, but it won't be like a bottling plant or something like that. So, but that'll all be part of that study, that land use update.
Okay. Does anybody have any further questions or comments? Okay. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
And with that, the next item on the agenda is adjournment. Can I get a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, motion by Mary,
I'll second.
second by John. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.